Hello, everyone. It is Tuesday, April 21st, 2020, and we're in our English class, and today we will be taking a look at lesson 138. We will be working on page 283 and 284. The lesson focus for today is the subject is the main word or words in the subject part. A noun or a pronoun can be the subject. A noun or a pronoun can be the subject. The objectives of today's lesson is to locate an action verb or a linking verb at the beginning of the predicate part. You remember the sentences have they have uh, a subject and a predicate part. So we're going to distinguish between the subject part and predicate part of a sentence. We're going to identify the subject as a noun or pronoun in the subject part. We're going to choose a subject to complete a sentence. So let's have a little bit of an introduction and review. What do we call a group of words that is a complete thought? I know everybody should know that by now. We've said it enough. I know it's just stuck in your brain. Okay, it is called a sentence. So, how many parts do sentences have? They have two parts. Sentences have two parts. What are the name of those parts? I know you can tell me that. The subject part and the predicate part. Now, which part tells what the subject part does or is? Of course, that's the predicate part because you only have two parts. So the predicate part tells what the subject part does or what the subject part is. So what does the predicate part usually begin with? It usually begins with an action verb, okay, or a linking verb. So what does the subject part tell us? It tells us who or what the sentence is about. Now, in this lesson, you will learn that the main word or words in the subject part of the sentence is called the subject. The subject may be a noun or a pronoun. Now, so what questions do you ask to find the subject part of a sentence? You want to ask what or who is the sentence about, or what or who does the action. So, the subject part of a sentence may have one or more words. When you look for the subject part of the sentence, look for all the words that come before the predicate part. The main word or words in the subject part is the subject. The main word is usually a noun or a pronoun. What is a noun? I know everyone can tell me what a noun is by now. A noun is a word that names a person, place, or thing. So, what is a pronoun then? If you know what a noun is, you should know what a pronoun is. A pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun. Most of the time, it's going to be capitalized and it's going to name a specific person, place, or thing. Okay, the subject part in the sentence is, let's see, the subject part of the sentence. Okay, what is this word? Why is a word a noun? Because it names a person, place, or thing. Okay, now, so excuse me, some examples of pronouns, of subject pronouns are I, you, he, she, it, we, and they. Okay, so what question do you ask when looking for the subject part? Who or what is the sentence about? Who or what does the action? Now, okay, so let's see. See, what else do we need to cover? Sometimes the subject will be more than one word. When the subject is more than one word, we call it a subject part. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at page 283. Subjects. Subjects. The subject is the main word or words in the subject part. A noun or a pronoun can be the subject. Let's look at this first sentence. Cara Bell loves teddy bears. Okay, Cara Bell would be the subject part. And we have a line of division between the subject part and the predicate part. So the predicate part, how do you know that the predicate part has begun, is that it usually has an action verb there. So who is doing it? Cara Bell. That will be the subject, who the sentence is about. Okay, what is Cara Bell doing? What about Cara Bell? She loves. That would be the beginning of the predicate. She loves teddy bears. And it makes a complete thought, and it does have punctuation and capitalization at the beginning of the sentence. That is very important. Okay, the sentence must make sense. Number 2, let's see. The brown bear. That is the subject part, the brown bear. Bear is the subject, and the subject part is the brown bear. Now, we will separate that with a line, and wears a hat is the predicate, because the predicate tells what the subject is about. So, the last one, he wears a vest. Who wears a vest? He does. Okay, he can be any male, so it doesn't matter if you give a name of that person, the name of that person or not, as long as you know that it is a person, because we put he. So he is a subject, the one word he, 2 letters. And the predicate is wears a vest. So the beginning of the predicate is wears, and that is an action verb. Okay, so that's how we know that's the beginning of the predicate. Okay, so now we're to circle the verb, draw a line between the subject part and the predicate part, and underline the subject, just as we have done before. Now, you find the subject by asking who or what the sentence is about. Okay, so number 1, God gives us homes. Okay, the subject is God. We underline that. We put a line between God and gives. What does God do? That's what the predicate is about. God gives. Okay, we're going to circle the action verb. God gives us homes. That gives us homes is the predicate part. Okay, number 2, a bird builds a nest. Okay, we know that. What is the subject about? Who is it about, or what is it about? It's about a bird. So that is the subject part. That is a question you ask, and that is the subject part. Okay, we're going to separate that by a line, and then builds a nest. What does a bird do? The predicate part tells you that he builds a nest. And so we would separate that with a line between bird and builds. We would circle the action verb. So you can go on with the rest of that. Okay, and then we go complete the sentence with the subject from the word bank. Dr. Lee, Holmes, and we. Those are the words in our word bank. Okay, number 5, some blank are wooden. Okay, they already have a picture here for you. And then you choose the word homes. Some homes are wooden. Number 6, blank lives in a brick house. Who lives in a brick house? The subject would be Dr. Lee lives in a brick house. And lives in a brick house is the predicate part. So, number 7, we thank God for our houses. Yes. So, number 8 tells us to write a sentence using the word house as your subject. You can write any sentence that you would like. There is no right or wrong unless you do not have a subject and predicate part, you do not capitalize, or you do not punctuate correctly. So let's take a look. Take a minute to think about what you might write. It's relatively easy because you're going to write a subject using the word house as your subject. Wow. You could put the red house, my house. So what would the subject be? What are we talking about? House, okay. And then what would the predicate part be? What about the house? Then you tell about the house in the predicate. You would say, my house is made of brick, or my house is in a subdivision. All of that. You can, however you choose to describe your house, is the predicate part. My house, or whatever house, or however you, the red house, or whatever you want to say about house would be the subject. Okay, now on page 284, we're going to circle the verb, draw a line between the subject part and the predicate part, and underline the subject just like we did before. It did not tell you to underline the subject part. It told you to underline the subject. Please be careful with that. If just like before, if your instructions ask for a subject, you only want to include the subject. If it asks for a subject part, you know that you're going to include more than one word. So in this instruction, it asks you to draw a line, to underline the subject. Okay, so number 9, their mother made cookies. Who made cookies? Mother. Their mother made cookies, all right, but who is the subject? Not the subject part. The subject part would be their mother. But the subject alone is one word, and it would only be mother. So you're going to draw a line between mother and made, because made is the beginning of the predicate part, and then you're going to circle made because it is the action verb. They ask you to circle the verb. They did not ask you to circle the verb and the predicate part, nothing like that. So let's please read our instructions carefully and answer only what is asked. Okay, number 10. She gave some cookies to my friend. Who gave some cookies to my friend? She. So she is your subject. She did what? That's the question you ask when you're looking for your predicate. Or when you're looking for your verb. Gave, she gave. So you would draw a line. You would put a line, draw a line underneath she. That's your subject. Draw a line between she and gave. That is your verb. And you would circle gave. That is your verb. Okay, so number 11 and 12, you would do it the same way. All right, so now let's complete the sentence with the subject from the word bank. He, dog, and friends. All right, so let's do number 13. My blank play football. Would it be my dog play football? I've never known a dog to play football. He may play with the football, but he doesn't play the game of football. So would it be he or friends? My friends play. It wouldn't be my he. It would be my friends play football. So number 14, the blank runs across the yard. We know what runs across the yard. Mine loves to run across the yard. The dog runs across the yard. Okay, let's look at number 15. Blank is fast. Would we say dog is fast, or friends is fast, or would we say he is fast? He makes the most sense. So we would say he is fast. The other choices make no sense. Okay, so now we're to circle the verb that completes the sentence. Number 16, Jan has come or has came to my house. Now, look over here at the box to the right, and it has the singular and the plural. If we're going to use came, it would be has come for the singular, because Jan is the subject and it's only one person, so Jan is singular. So we have to use has come. Okay, not have come, but has come, because Jane is singular. Number 17, Mom has went or has gone to the store. Mom is how many people? One person. Mom is one person. So we're using the singular form of went. So mom, what's the singular form of went? Look under singular, find went, go over to your right and go into the singular column, and you would see has gone. Mom has gone to the store. So when we're speaking, if we're going to speak correctly, we wouldn't say my mom has went to the store. No, mom has went to the store. No, that is incorrect grammar. So we want to speak correctly. So we would say mom, the singular form, has gone. Okay? So let's go to number 18. Now, it changes up a little bit. My brothers, but we have our little chart here of singular and plural. My brothers have saw or have seen a hawk. We wouldn't say my brothers have saw a hawk because that would not be correct grammar. What is correct is if you look at your chart to the right, we're using the word saw. So when we see saw up there, we go over to the right under plural. Let's look under plural of saw is have seen. So we would circle have seen. My brothers, because it is plural, more than one brother, it's brothers, so it's two or more, you would say have seen a hawk. So that will be the correct form to use. Okay, so I hope you had fun with this lesson. I sure did. And I want you to continue writing your sentence on page 283. And that is the end of our lesson.